So, augmented humans in an augmented world. Augmented human, I sometimes got called by Bruce Sterling the woman with 3 heads, and I think I kind of am. I'm co-founder with Ori Inbar of Augmented World Expo and augmentedreality.org, and I have the great privilege of working with Will Wright, who's the legendary creator of SimCity, The Sims, and Spore, and he has an awesome team on an awesome new project, which unfortunately, I actually can't talk about, but here's the disclaimer. This talk does not disclose or represent anything work by Syntertainment. I'm merely sharing my own personal experience and perspectives with the AR community. I've been doing AR for many, many, many years, and so this event and blogging and has come together sort of over the years to sort of in a collection of thoughts. Early this year, Ori dropped this BEE-HAG on me, and you saw Toby's slide. Ori kind of presented this idea for a foundation, augmentedreality.org, to accomplish the mission to inspire 1 billion people to actively use augmented reality by the end of the decade. I like BEE-HAGs, but this one really got me into an existential quandary. I mean, all of us know, particularly people who've been involved in this event, how many scary, compelling, and weird dystopic visions of humanity's future have come out of augmented reality. These are 4 of my favorites of recent years. You probably know all of them. Bottom left, Frog Design's design fiction about skinning a troubled world with a nice, pretty, a view that humans in their decimated environment could tolerate. And you've probably seen the site video of the cerebral implants. That's the top left. Top right is the famous Kiichi Masuda's augmented hyperreality domestic Robocop. And bottom right is my 13-year-old son's favorite YouTube team, Smosh, riffing on the role glass might play in adolescent boys' lives. Dystopic visions of augmented reality have a long history, but that history is probably for another talk. However, this is one of my favorites, the Krell machine from the classic 1956 science fiction film Forbidden Planet, which turned thoughts into reality, including terrifying monsters from the id. Existential dilemmas abound. Robbie the robot has been programmed to obey Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, but he refuses to kill the id monster because the robot recognizes the invisible creature, an alter ego, an extension of Dr. Morbius, is his creator. And turning thoughts into reality is now design fact. And we're fortunate enough to have Steve Mann here tomorrow, and I can't tell you how excited I am to hear his talk. This is his project, I don't know how you pronounce it, Interaxon. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about this tomorrow. We've come a long way since ARE 2010. When back then there was a lot of AR that made Jesse Schell, one of our keynote speakers that year, and the rest of us rather sad, and this was an image from one of his slides. But if all of you took note of Mary Meeker's Internet Trends report, she basically, if you think back to the BEE-HAG proposal, which Tommy has already said is right on the map. I mean, basically, she backs that up. Mary points out wearables are coming on strong and faster than typical technology cycles that have come around in 10 years. And she is one of the most brilliant analysts there are. The future of wearables is emerging from an ecosystem, a new ecosystem. And Kickstarter and Indiegogo, this is something Mike Kuniaski, who's sitting here in the audience, will be talking next, so please stick around, this is important. These are new kinds of stores, special kinds of stores that signal what people want and don't want. And why is that important? For all of you who caught the hardware startup competition yesterday or have a chance to stroll down Hardware Startup Alley in the expo hall, you're getting an exciting glimpse of this new movement, which may prove to be the most significant driving force, bringing augmented reality from design fiction to design fact. We're in this moment where sure, Google Glass is getting the publicity, but really 1,000 flowers are blooming, and some of them are blooming right here. Brady Forrest will be talking later this afternoon, and he will talk more about this hardware startup movement. Because time is short, I'm going to move right on. Eidos mask. This mask gives you superhuman abilities. You probably might have seen this article in Mashables. We're seeing the emergence of concepts of augmented reality that go beyond earlier notions of augmented seeing. And Mashable said of the Eidos masks that they give you superhuman abilities. You've heard this theme of the superhuman abilities coming up a lot today. The Eidos mask consists of a pair of prototype sensory enhancement masks developed by students at the Royal College of Art in London. But getting back to this thing of if you're going to set up a foundation to sort of evangelize augmented humanity, but if it can't be used for evil, it's not a superpower. And my concern, of course, about setting up a foundation to augment humanity might be described as the Jean Grey dilemma. The watcher comments on the struggles of Jean Grey with her dark phoenix persona. Jean Grey could have lived to become a god, but it was more important for her that she die a human. Will Dramus, in the recent Slate, this comes from his article in Slate, had a blog entitled Superhero or Supervillain. If science gives people superpowers, will they use them for good or evil? And what if it turns out that some types of superpowers inherently lend themselves to altruism and others are more likely to make you cheat, lie, steal, and kill? Last year, Stanford researchers recruited 60 volunteers for an experiment on how virtual superpowers could influence moral decisions in an immersive virtual reality simulation. Luckily, their findings suggest that acquiring superpower can inspire benevolent tendencies. But one of the researchers and the co-author, Stanford communications professor Jeremy Bailenson, explained that they chose the power of flight for this experiment partly because it seemed like a classic do-gooder superpower sort of ability. We thought, and this is a quote from him, we thought about giving them X-ray vision, but that would have been a little creepy. If you attended ARE 2010, the first of our events here, you will know that Jesse Schell's talk riffed on this Roger Corman classic, and you can see the video of this online, from 1963, X, the man with the X-ray eyes. Jesse pointed out that the history of augmented reality has been about seeing, about wanting to see more. But as Jesse noted, there's something of a stigma associated with wanting to see more, something pretty creepy about it. Why do you want to see so much? That's the question that Dr. X at the beginning of the movie is asked. What is the purpose of seeing more? How will you use your new vision? And I think the father of wearable computing, Steve Mann, you can tell I'm so excited he's here, gave us a great answer to these questions. Answers that will encourage us to use our new superpowers more for good than for evil. Babak Parviz, which I suspect is somewhere here at the event of Glass, said in a Wired interview, man sees wearable computers as offering something closer to mediated reality, one that allows wearers to tailor their environment to suit themselves, even blocking out ads and billboards in real life, just as an ad blocker filters ads on the web. Mann himself calls this type of mediation personal imaging. It will be, and he says, it will be one of the most far-reaching, important aspects of the coming wearable cybernetics revolution. I'm in total agreement there. And I've not got a lot of time. I could do a whole talk on this part, but this, to me, is what I'm very, very interested in right now. And I go to a lot of the habit design meetings because I love that framing of Big Mother. I think quantified self is a little bit Big Mother, but habit design gets us into this kind of agency and empowerment that Steve Mann's talking about. I'm running out of time now, but I think there's a very important frame that needs to be integrated with the vision of personal imaging to set augmented humans in an augmented world on a path to benefit humanity. The desire engine is brilliantly expounded by Nir Eyal, and he uses this in many contexts, not just the quantified self movement. It's got a history in advertising and big advertising and business, and he often talks to startups about how you manufacture desire by guiding users through a series of experiences designed to create habits, combining the notion of the desire engine with ideas from the quantified self itself and habit design, however, opens up the possibility of desire engines not just being used by big business as startups aspiring to become the next big thing, but for personal habit design. Near points out that habit design itself is a superpower. If it's used for good, habit design can enhance people's lives with entertaining and even helpful routines. If it's used for evil, habits can quickly turn into wasteful addictions. And this is a really interesting frame. I think we're running, you won't get any coffee if I explain this completely, but it's, you know, this is this idea of these triggers, and with habit design, if you want to start running and get more fit, actually just putting run every morning on your calendar probably won't work as well as by putting your running shoes right by the coffee machine. And he has this this is a very interesting, BJ Fogg is into this too. So that's for another talk. But right now, I would like to finish up so we can all get a quick coffee, and I would like to close, you know, with this slide, because I hope you join. I'm on board for the BEE-HAG and the foundation, and I hope you can join Ori and I, and you know, we can together, like we've grown this event with a community, continue to work together to think through and create augmented superpowers that serve good rather than evil. Thank you.